Welcome back to my channel. This time there is a lesson for IELTS Writing Task 1 about describing a diagram. To have a score band 9, this is a must-learn, super easy, step-by-step instruction. Let's get started. Okay, in this lesson you will learn number 1, an example of a diagram question. Number 2, a band 9 score answer structure. Number 3, to write an ideal answer in each paragraph. Number 4, some useful vocabulary. So this is the question card on the right, and on the left this is the diagram. Let's learn one by one. This is the question. The diagram illustrates how steel rods are manufactured in the furniture industry. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. And this is the diagram. You can see the flow of work from the left to the right, and then going down, and then we move again from the left to the right, and then going down, and then move again to the right. Make sure we understand this flow from this diagram from one station to the other stations. So this is the beginning of the process, and this is the end of the process. And we can see there is a lot of information left and right. Each station has some information, and all this information is good. The more information we have, this is good. I know this can be very confusing, but if we understand now, if we have a lot of words, we have a lot of information like this, it is actually good. Why? We can just take the words later in our writing. Okay, there are some things you need to pay attention to. Number 1, is the process in the diagram cyclical? So going on and then going back again, like a circle. It's a cycle. Number 2, are there any loops or repeating stages? There can be a case or situation where a step or stage is repeating. Not all, but only one stage or two. So we need to pay attention to that. Number 3, are there any steps happening at the same time? So we need to pay attention to that one too. All right. When you have familiarized yourself with the chart and the question, let us start with the answer. So this is the structure of task 1 answer. We have introduction, and then we have content. The content we have overview, and then feature 1 and feature 2. Following this structure of answer will result to band 9 score. Number 1, first paragraph is the introduction. In this paragraph, introduce the diagram in 1 or 2 sentences. The next one is the overview paragraph. In this paragraph, describe some general feature of the diagram. The next one, paragraph 3 and 4, feature 1 and feature 2. It can be 2 paragraphs, it can be 3 paragraphs. So write about specific features of the diagram in 2 or 3 separate paragraphs. Okay, remember that the purpose of IELTS Writing Task 1 is to clearly describe the supplied information. It is not to express your personal opinion. So, never write any conclusion in Task 1. Now you understand the strategy. Let's start composing our Band 9 answer. Remember, we start with introduction, and in the introduction, you simply write 1 sentence or 2. And what we need to do is we just paraphrase the question. So here we have the diagram illustrates how steel rods are manufactured in the furniture industry. Let's paraphrase this sentence. Number 1, keep the same name of the graph and do not change it. So here we have the diagram in the question, and also in our paragraph we also write the same graph, which is the diagram, and do not change it. The next one, we can paraphrase the verbs. Verbs can be freely paraphrased. We have illustrates, and it is paraphrased into explains. Of course, you can use other words such as show, illustrate, present, display, designate, represent, etc. The next one, how steel rods are manufactured. Take a look at this clause in the question, and then it is changed in our introduction sentence. In the question we have the word how, and then it is replaced with the way in which. And then there is a word manufactured, and then it is changed into produced. So introduction is done. Now we need to go ahead with the overview paragraph. In the overview paragraph, you must provide the overview to achieve a 6-band score or higher for task 1. So it's a must. In the overview paragraph, simply you describe general features of the diagram. First, you can put the number of stages in the diagram. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there are 11 stages. And then number 2, how the process begins and how the process ends. So this one is the beginning and this one is the end. So more or less we can use this information to write our overview sentence or paragraph. Remember, make comment on that if the diagram has loops or repeating stages or cyclical process. Overall, the process consists of 11 stages, beginning with the raw material and ending up with product inspection. So start the sentence with the word overall. And then here we have the process consists of 11 stages, beginning with the raw material and ending up with the product inspection. Overview paragraph pattern. So you can write this way. First you write overall, comma, and then the process consists of X stages, comma, beginning with, in this case, raw material, and then ending up with product inspection. That's it. So introduction is done, overview is done. We go ahead with feature 1 and feature 2. So for specific features 1 and 2, describe each stage of the process in detail. So how to divide data into paragraphs? Unlike graph charts and tables, diagrams have no general rules for grouping the data. So there aren't any general rules for grouping the data in the diagram. So you can describe the specific features of your diagram in 1, 2, or 3 paragraphs. Your information must come in a logical way. Let's take a look. So in a logical way, you cannot start like this, the end of it, and then you go ahead with step number 3 and then step number 5. So do not jump around. Just do it in order. So it can be like this. For example, this one is stage 1. Okay, that means step 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then this is stage 2. The next steps 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then stage 3, 9, 10, and 11. Okay, so we have this one, the stage 1. First of all, iron ore, yellow ore, and carbon are collected to serve as a raw material for steel rod manufacturing. Here we have raw material. And then we go ahead with the next step. We go to the next processes. But this one is something for us to start with. So the next step, we can see, melt. And then we see temperature 1300, 1500 Celsius, degrees Celsius. Raw material is in the melting slit. Although we don't understand the meaning exactly, but the words are there, the sentences are there, we can make use of them. So our next sentence, after that, the raw material is melted in the melting slit, where it is heated to a temperature in range of 1300 to 1500 degrees Celsius. And then we go ahead with the next sentence, which is the next step, which is the refinement. We have smelting cabin. So our sentence is, the melted mass is then transferred to a smelting cabin to undergo refinement. So it is moved to a smelting cabin to undergo refinement. The next one. So the next step is ingot pour. We have incandescent metal is poured into ingots, and then the pouring machine. So we put the next sentence. Next, the incandescent metal is put into a pouring machine and poured into ingots. So we just copy what is available there. The next one, we go ahead with stage number 2. In the next stage, the ingots are connected to a cooling reservoir where the temperature falls to 60 to 100 degrees Celsius. So we have here the next stage, and then here we have the information which I take from. The ingots are connected to cooling reservoir where the temperature falls to 60 to 100 degrees Celsius. The next one, the metal goes through nozzles. So I put this as the second sentence. The metal goes through special nozzles and cools down, forming strands. And then they produce strands. After the metal goes through the nozzle, it goes down and then they become strands. The next one, the next step is rolling. And then we have strands of cool metal. Here I can write, following this, the metal strands proceed to rollers that change their shape. You know, this machine is changing the shape from this one big into a smaller one. The next one. The next step is heat treatment, and then we have a heating machine. So we can write, next, the products are put into a heating machine where they undergo heat treatment. And then as the last step, we have surface check, measuring automation. So we can write, subsequently, a measuring automation completes a surface check of the products. So that's it for stage 2. Now the next one is stage 3. Now there are only 3 steps here, and then we can write, after that, the metal rods are sized by special cutters and get ID stamping. Finally, the products undergo inspection and are ready for use. So this is the next step, sizing. Then we have cutter. So we can write, metal rods are sized by special cutters. The next step is ID stamping and get ID stamping. And then this is the last step. Finally, because this is the end of it, the products undergo inspection and are ready for use. Okay, so this is all these 3 paragraphs, and then it covers stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. This is stage 1, and then this is stage 2, and then this is stage 3. So these are the 3 paragraphs covering stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. Please make sure you use the time connectors when describing a process, so to make sure that you can put things sound in order. That's why I use first of all, after that, then, next, in the next stage, following this, next, subsequently, after that, and then finally. Okay, so we use this one. First of all, firstly, to begin, after that, then, next, in the next stage, following this, subsequently, and then finally. This is the full Band 9 answer. The first paragraph is the introduction. The second paragraph is the overview. The third paragraph is the specific feature 1. The fourth paragraph is the specific feature 2. And then the fifth one is feature 3. And then as you can see, all these sentences in all paragraphs use present tense. And the total words here, the total is 197 words. The minimum total number is 150 for writing task 1. And this is 197. Very good number. That's it for now. Thank you very much. If this is useful for you, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.